Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for July 6th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. As always, we will start with computer and console role-playing game news, and it is a little bit of a light week this week. It looks like Darkest Dungeon 2 will be getting a release on the Xbox Series X/S. It has been available on other platforms for a while now. The title is set to launch on July 15th, 2024. It will come with an Oblivion edition that also includes the Binding Blade DLC. Trinity Fusion is getting a release on the Nintendo Switch, slated for August 1st of this year. It has you traveling the multiverse as 3 different versions of the same protagonist, and has been available on other platforms since last year. Worlds of Aria is set for September 24th. It'll target the PC and the Nintendo Switch, although, of course, the Nintendo Switch version will release actually later in the year. It is inspired by Tabletop RPGs and has you building a 4-character party and setting out to crawl dungeons. It'll have local, online, and cross-platform cooperative multiplayer. Goblin Slayer, Another Adventure, Nightmare Feast is set for release in the West on October 25th to be precise. It'll have both physical and digital releases for the Nintendo Switch. Tokyo Clan Pool is set for an international release later this year. It'll target the PC and the Nintendo Switch. It'll be a dungeon crawling RPG and was originally released back in 2017 in Japan on the Vita. Ys 10 Nordics is set for release on October 25th as well. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, and the Switch. Ys Memoir, An Oath in Felghana, was also announced. This is going to be released sometime next year and will be an action RPG remaster of the original Ys the Oath in Felghana, which I think is Ys 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the series. It'll target the PS4, PS5, and the Switch. Albatross got a new trailer. It looks like it will be a backpacking adventure RPG set for release on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S. It looks like The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 is getting a Western release sometime in 2025. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, and the Switch. And that leads right into actual releases. As far as actual releases go, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak got its English language release for fans of Nihon Falcom games, and I really need to get into those. I've heard really decent things about them and have played versions of them in the distant past, so it's just got so many series now. Then, Dungeonborn, while not released, has a playtest ongoing. It looks like it'll take place in a fantasy world and let you explore solo or with other players through various dungeons. Full release will be later this month, and this is like a part of a new genre of like player versus player, but also player versus environment kind of mixed, where you get a team and crawl dungeons. It's a concept I actually really wanted to see many years ago, so I'm glad that you're actually seeing them come out now. Ash of God's Redemption was released on Android. It has been available on other platforms for a few years now. It has the same content as the PC version, although with an updated UI for mobile devices. Drakkar Crew is a Viking-based beat-em-up action RPG where you set out on a Viking ship, hire warriors on, and engage in various side-scrolling battles. Finally, there is Incursion 2D, an action RPG where you face off against various waves of enemies working on secondary skills and building up your very own island. And now onto tabletop gaming news. It looks like Roll20 has had a security breach. Surprise, surprise. A third party seems to have accessed customer names, emails, IP addresses, and the last 4 digits of credit card numbers, although they had supposedly not accessed the passwords or other financial data. But that's what they say. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out, especially since the last time they had a data breach. It doesn't appear that they did much to prevent another one, so we shall see. All I can say is if you've got an account there, make sure you don't have your passwords or anything else, because these companies are not known to realize the full status of some of these breaches. Anyway, it looks like the new art design of D&D 2024 means that the old alternate covers from Hydro 74 will no longer be coming out. They will have future alternate art, but they'll be using different artists with a different art style in a different direction. Moria Through the Doors of Durin has its pre-orders available, and you can thank that on the autocorrect. It looks like it'll be releasing in August, and it will be a mega dungeon campaign for One Ring 2nd Edition. There will be a version out for the Lord of the Rings role-playing for 5th Edition under a different title. Onwards towards minor and PDF releases, Rogue Genius Games has casting circles, rituals for the whole party. It'll include various forms of ritual magic that can be used with risks by all characters. It is available in Pathfinder 1st and 2nd versions, as well as Starfinder and 5th Edition. Legendary Games has Legendary classes of Mesmerists, and an expansion of the Occult class Mesmerist from the Pathfinder 1st Edition, including various new folky and other material. The Tree in the Common is a one-shot adventure for Pathfinder 2nd Edition that deals with a tree that was in the middle of a village that has suddenly disappeared. Kelfasil's Tales has a few offerings there for both, actually two offerings. They're both for 5th Edition. There is A Noble Call, an adventure that deals with two nobles, and then a Touch of Fey, which covers a hunting season where nature's balance has been disturbed. Pet DM has 3 adventures for 5th Edition. There is A Winds from the West, Death Pit, and Starless Night. Heart of Ice from Mammoth Factory is a 5th Edition adventure where a star has fallen to the earth and now the Frost Giants plan to use its power in a ritual. The Daughters of Rama from Zoth Publishing is a sword and sorcery based 5th Edition module that deals with a city of sorcerers and cults that contain various treasures. I believe these have all been, all the Zoth Publishing stuff lately has been conversions of some old 3.x stuff into 5th Edition. Nice. Menagerie of Souls is a 5th Edition adventure that deals with a traveling circus where a sinister force has been transforming townsfolk and performers into zombies. Citadel of the Unseen Sun, Episode 1, Death is Not the End, is a 5th Edition adventure set to be the first in a series set in an empire of eternal night. Ordinum, the Ghost Watcher, is another 5th Edition adventure, this one set on the continent of Sionos, and deals with a deranged person who has staggered out of the Badlands talking about terrible and unholy things. The Doom of Blackwinter is a 5th Edition adventure dealing with villagers who have sought out a group of heroes to find where some strange raiders are laired. One Session Crawl, Under Caves and Labyrinths, is a 5th Edition supplement with 5 one-page one-shot dungeons dealing with abandoned mazes, drow temples, and other underground effects. People of the Vale, Asker Earth Sculptor is a 5th Edition compatible supplement that deals with a single NPC, a wizard in a moving tower who is obsessed with earth magic. My apologies, my cats are going haywire today. The Maze of Mazaria is a 5th Edition compatible adventure. It deals with a labyrinth full of secrets and is suited for 1st to 2nd level characters. The Kindly One is a 5th Edition background of a big bad evil guy who is actually kind of wants to do what's best for everyone. It details his followers, his temple, and his plans. Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting is a 5th Edition supplement that lets you deal with various monster hunts. It includes 11 easy-to-run monster hunt adventures with various weaknesses, as well as new weapons, spells, and playable options. Chronicles of Ivrea of Demons in Honor is an alternate path for the world of Ivrea for 5th Edition, which functions as a campaign set for levels 12 to 15. Gateway to Glory, Deserts and Oases, is a 5th Edition terrain-specific supplement focusing on, of course, deserts and oases. Underworld, BG2, Full Dark, No Moon, is an adventure for 5th Edition. Got versions for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Survive This, as well as System Neutral in the same package. It details a dungeon built beneath a ruined temple and is designed for low-level characters. It's inspired by various retro video games from the 80s. A Night in the Library is a 5th Edition resource which includes 6 spellbooks, 11 magic items, and enchanted objects, 4 monsters with a theme of books and writing, as well as a list of 100 mundane but exotic books and tomes, as well as short adventures for characters of levels 5 to 6. Petra's Guide to Potions and Poultices is a 5th Edition supplement that provides over 250 potions and the various rules to craft them. Roku's Masterworks is a 5th Edition offering that includes more than 50 new weapons and armor to use with the Oath of the Dragon Samurai adventures, as well as resources for crafting and enchanting and more. SideQuest Issue 35 is a 5th Edition compatible monthly RPG magazine that includes a new location, a selection of magic items, as well as a Tooth Devil. There are a few offerings for the Starlight 5th Edition based sci-fi system. There is Heavy Equipment Manual that offers information on operating and building vehicles and spacecraft, and there's also the Hostiles Handbook that lists various hostiles, beasts, and so forth. Quarter Shots, Roads and Ruins is a system-neutral side quest, one of which will eventually be a series. This one includes 22 side quests suitable for 1 to 2 hours of gameplay each. The Harvest of Horror is a Dungeon Crawl Classics compatible adventure that deals with a village or where a meteorite has crash-landed in a farmer's field, unleashing illness and strange vanishings. Oh man, it's going to be hell to edit. The Quarry is another DCC RPG compatible adventure. This one deals with a hole that has been struck into a quarry wall, from which a sinuous mist has arrived. Yeah, the cats are going in and out, busted my door open, I got trains running in the background. It's like they don't want me to record this. The Train Through Hell Book 1 Part 1 is a module for Weird Frontiers itself, a DCC RPG derived system. It includes a novel as well that is released in chapters to go along with it. Tower of the Missing Mage is a Shadow Dark RPG compatible adventure for 0-level characters. It deals with a trap-laden tower owned by a missing mage. Otherwise, it would be called Tower of the Found Mage. Shadowrim is a campaign setting for Shadow Dark that seems to be inspired by the Elder Scrolls unofficially. It includes various species similar to that system, various divine signs to guide you on, various magics, and so forth. Druid class for Shadow Dark RPG is exactly what it says on the tin, a Druid class for Shadow Dark RPG. Shadow Spark Dungeon and Encounter cards is a collection of 50 encounter cards for the Shadow Dark RPG, which can be used for ideas on random encounters to get things off the when your players go off for the beaten path from the adventure, or just for general play. The Mosidian Temple is an Osric and OSR compatible adventure that deals with a temple that has been stood isolated for a century. Shadow of the Deep King is an old school Essentials compatible adventure, it's for levels 4 to 6, and it deals with a dwarven land where dwarves have vanished and their old ruins have been built over. Now folks are saying that the dwarves are coming back. Test of the Quisling is an OSR adventure that serves as an introductory adventure where the players are looking for the assistance of a Fey scholar. Mad Scribe Magazine, issue 6, is an OSR and general gaming style magazine with various material. This edition includes an interview with Tracy Lesh, an interview with Lilith Cohen, as well as various op-ed articles on pop culture and gaming, various GM advice, some board game reviews, and so on. D12 Monthly is an old school Central style magazine. Issue 37 focuses on dungeon exploration and includes various factions, as well as air quality in dungeons, various animals, natural hazards, and so on. Journey into the Madlands, Welcome to Greenville is an adventure for OSR-style post-apocalyptic RPG setting, the Journey into the Madlands setting. And the Black Tower is a dungeon adventure for low to mid-level fantasy RPG characters. It is largely system-neutral, but can be adapted to a number of them. Seth's Gear and Ammo Summer Catalog 2024 is a supplement of skills and equipment that can be imported across a variety of OSR and D20-style released games. Draconicus, the fantasy role-playing game, is a single-volume compilation of material for the Draconicus system that includes the Player's Handbook, the Game Master's Handbook, an Introductory Adventure, a Bestiary, and the Encyclopedia Draconicus. They have all been available separately. Elf King, the immortal role-playing game, has the Impling Purge, an introductory solo adventure. This has you doing battle with various imps in a subterranean area. They put out a bunch of stuff for this system. I do have another batch of reviews for that coming up, and then I've got some stuff from Black Oath I've been reviewing, so hopefully those will be coming out in the next few weeks. In fact, the Elf King stuff, I should have had a second one out last week, but I just forgot to upload it. That's okay. The Forest of Doom is available for Advanced Fighting Fantasy. It is an adventure based on the classic game book from Ian Livingston. The Dark Woods role-playing game, second edition, is an RPG based on an open-source resilience system and is fantasy-themed. Fallout 2D20 NPC Pack Number 3, Riley's Rangers, includes stat blocks and rosters for 5 named NPCs, information on the group's reputation and activities, several plot seeds, information on their compound, as well as new equipment. Finally, there are a few offerings from Cthulhu Quest, an expansion for the Hero Quest game system, each one consisting of some new adventures. There's the Miskatonic Uprising, as well as the Forest of Flesh. And with that, I'll move on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but it's for informational purposes only. We'll start with computer and console role-playing game crowdfunding. However, no true RPGs really caught my eye, just a couple RPG-adjacent titles. There is Painted Peril, which will be a roguelite where you mix various colors of magic. You can absorb colors from enemies and use them to build up spells. There is a demo available. Trade Tales will be a farming, manufacturing, and life, like shopkeeping life sim, so basically it does an entire genre nowadays. Lunar Bridge looks to be much the same, but with a more retro pixel art style, as well as a more fantasy theme. Then there is Mavi and Rogue, which is to be a procedurally generated roguelike. With turn-based combat, it is a dungeon crawler with a high degree of character customization, despite a relatively retro theme and pixel set. It'll let you switch to an overhead map view during the game as well. Onwards towards tabletop crowdfunding, there is Queen of Atlantis, Season 3, being the final 4 episodes of a D&D adventure series for 5th edition about survival, political intrigue, and so forth. Blood, Rum, and Thunder will be a 5th edition campaign revolving around a set of pirate-infested waters, which We'll have rules for naval combat, various weather systems, new monsters, spells, magic items, and more. Storming the Pirate Stronghold will be a 5th edition high seas adventure, this one 25 plus pages with various maps, lore, and rewards, dealing with rescuing captured souls from a notorious pirate as well as retrieving an artifact. Traveler's Guide to the Drowned City of Keres is to be a zine-style 5th edition sourcebook covering aquatic adventures, sunken cities, and the Empire of Dagon. Drop-in Dungeons, Sanctum of Ill Omens will be a set of 5 encounters within a sanctum for 5th edition suited for levels 5 to 8. The Return of the Black Flame Curse will be a murder mystery set in a haunted mansion for 5th edition suited for level 1 to 2 characters. Mausoleum, a Gothic 5th edition location guide, will be what it says, a Gothic city location inspired by or inhabited by vampires, devils, and so forth with an adventure associated with it. Ars Mechanica has the Molten Prophecy 5th edition, a supplement with an adventure as well as hundreds of pages of steampunk content. The Molten Prophecy itself will be a shorter adventure for levels 18 to 20, while the Collector's Edition version will take characters from levels 1 to 20. The Dark Confidant looks to be a large collection of RPG content for 5th edition. It will be looking to fund a massive adventure, some various new subclasses and races, monsters, and more. Constellations Descend. Pisces will be a 5th edition adventure that integrates zodiac signs and powers and includes various celestial items. Cocaine Owlbear Deluxe Edition looks to be a 5th edition mini-adventure that expands on... I think there was already a Cocaine Owlbear thing produced. This is just going to expand it. It revolves around a woodland creature that has gained sentience by ingesting a white magical powder. The Beguiler for 5th edition will be a new class expanding on a sort of magical trickster. It'll be a full caster class with 9th level spells and include 3 subclasses. Falco's Vault of Wonders will be a 5th edition collection of 240 unique magic items. It'll include various categories and divide them into various themed decks. 30 Enchanted Statues will be a collection of 30 different statues for various fantasy RPG style campaigns from Philip Reed. Potions and Herbalists Mixing Sheets 2 will be a set of statted and described ingredients you can mix and match for a simple and fun potion crafting system for use with 5th edition, OSR, and similar fantasy RPGs. Along the Road will be a set of travel and journeying rules for various D20-based fantasy RPGs. It's meant to spice up overland travel, include assigning roles to various characters, dealing with various skill challenges, and so on. Massacre Grounds will be a level 0 dungeon for Weird Frontiers RPG itself, a derivative of DCC RPG rules. This one will be designed for 0-level characters. It will require the Weird Frontiers rule set itself, of course. For Moria, the Dark Age is to be a setting for Shadow Dark and similar OSR systems. It will include detailed maps, regions, classes, factions, and NPCs, and so forth. It's inspired by 4th century Dark Ages Europe. Harn World, Kingdom of Chabisa, will be the latest in a series of hardcover editions for the Kingdoms of Harn that detail the various lands. This one focused on Harn's smallest realm, Chabisa. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sake, or Sorcerers, Adventurers, Kings, and Economics, will be a tabletop RPG meant to blend strategy game elements with fantasy gaming, include the option to play various archetypes, of course, I hope. Audio RPG is looking to fund an audiobook for Holler for Savage Worlds. It'll be the latest in an adaptation of various RPG rulebooks and accessories, narrated out loud. This one will focus on the art of on an area of fairy tales and gothic horror set in Appalachia. Finally, there is the Journal of the Traveler's Aid Society No. 3, a collection of rules and articles and such, gathered into a series of volumes for the Traveler sci-fi role-playing game system. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. Links will be below. Remember to leave a like, comment if you got any feedback, especially on that last bit, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye. And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.